You've told us you love photography. Can you share some of your favorite photos, whether taken by you or someone else? Pondering Minds. I don't know if she's here because she had to go to the store. Pondering Minds, are you back? I'm answering your question. This is like the first time she's asked a question, I think. Unless she was one of the anonymous people in the past. Ooh. But publicly, this is her first. So if not, I'll tell her to watch the VOD. Yeah, guys, send some more questions. I always need questions. I love doing this portion. Daddy! Did I just get a follow and it didn't show up? Why are my Stone, thank you for the follow. I had to look at my screen to see who followed me because it did not show up in my activity feed. Very sad that it didn't do that. But I appreciate your follow, and I hope to get to know you better. I do this every Sunday, this stream. Sometimes people ask me for really needed advice, and sometimes you have things like this. Petiu? Thank you for the follow. You see it in the feed in the mod view, okay. I do not. I had to see it on the screen. Gesundheit? Someone sneezed? I hope you feel better. Oh, you're saying the username? Well, Pondering Minds, even if you're not here, I have to answer this question. But you're amazing. Yes, I play Quake Champions on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You are more than welcome to join me. Quake is life and life is Quake. Very cool. Okay, so.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay. I am going to have to remove temporarily this question so I can answer it. So she asked, can you share some of your favorite photos, whether taken by you or someone else? So I will share some of my favorite photos as well as ones I've taken. So I hope you guys like art. I really like photography, so here we go. My story begins my interest in photography. There are these, let me get it on. These books, these are called This Fabulous Century books. My parents had this whole collection. This is not theirs, I found this online, but my parents had this whole collection at one point. It actually got destroyed in a flood, so they no longer have them. And I wish that I took them because I loved, when I was probably like 6 years old until I was 14, I literally would read through all of these on a regular basis. And the photography throughout it, they would have like stuff, like information, but the photography was gorgeous on all the pages. And I loved looking at like the black and white photography especially, but then when you had the 60s and 70s, the bright colors, I really loved that. So I think these books got me into photography, as well as this photograph here. Now I posted this on my Instagram story the other day. This is a yearbook photo of my mom in 1968, walking into her school. And I love the aesthetic of it. The fact that you have the door being a rectangle and the 3 squares from the windows while she's walking in, it's just really cool. And I used to stare at this photo a lot, going like, wow, this is really neat. So I love black and white photography especially. And my mom doesn't know who took these photos. There are a few photos of my mom in this yearbook. So it must have been some admirer. But I love this. This is Ansel Adams, very famous photographer. This is called Dunes Oceano. Ansel Adams and Fred Archer created the zone system technique with visualizing the subject and the results that you want to see for roll film in trying to understand the exposure and development. This was from around 1939 and 1940 that they came up with the zone system. So this is a very old photograph, but it looks amazing, even in black and white. So you see the different points. Like you see how they set up the photo. He set it up beautifully. And the lighting, it's amazing. So I love this photograph. I used to work at a calendar store and we had Ansel Adams calendars, and one of them was open, and I used to like look through it every once in a while because I loved looking at his photos. So this is also one of his photos. Look at that, guys. Can you believe this photograph is from like the 30s or 40s? It looks like the way our digital photographs look today. It is precise in the lighting. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, I've actually seen photos of Ansel Adams and how he would set up his photos, and he had like these giant tripods in it with the huge camera. He would sometimes set it on top of cars. He would place it in all different weird spots to try to get the best photo. And again, because you don't have like the Polaroid was the first camera where you got to see what it looked like right away. They didn't have that back then. So he had to visualize and then try to capture what he saw. So I love Ansel Adams. Next, Linda Mccartney. I had a book. This was actually the cover of the book. I had one of her photography books. I love the unique shots that she would take. This is called Paul, Stella, and James in Scotland. They had a house there. So guys, if you don't know who Paul McCartney is, who is the man on the fence, he was one of the Beatles. He's still alive, still doing great, still making hits. So this is just family life that she would capture. But again, I love black and white photography. Yeah, photography is still the same. You could get great quality no matter what camera you use. It's all in the lighting, honestly. This is also taken by Linda McCartney. So I like I said, I had this book with her photography. She photographed people before she met Paul McCartney, people in bands. And that's just something she liked to do. And that's how she met Paul. This is Lucky Spot in Daisy Field. I love this. How instead of having the subject right in the center, it's near the top and you see everything else. I think it looks really neat. I don't think I have a favorite photograph from any of these photographers right now. I really love this one too. So I do like color, like I said. I love color photography as well. Hey Kira. Right now I'm answering a question that was asked of me about my favorite photographs and ones that I've taken as well. So right now I'm focusing on people that I admire their work. And most of the photographers I like are not new. Like I don't know of any that really pull me in like these photographers. So anyway, I love seeing this. Now there's something called the rule of thirds, where basically you have the subject matter is near a corner. So you if you break it up into thirds. So this one is not in the center and it's getting close to the corner. It's, it's in a third of the shot. But then you have the whole ice is also important. Humans are amazing when seen from above in long exposure. Yeah, this one is really cool. You like nighttime photos with long exposure. Those are awesome, for sure. Rob said he experimented with some long exposure stuff for a while. It's tough to get right. All the stuff he did ended up with too much purple and stuff. Rob Steady, actually, he took photography class in high school. He had like really good stuff. They actually did roll films in school, in our high school, and a developing room. So I think that's awesome. They still have that in a lot of high schools here. So the school we went to, they still do that, the dark room and everything. And what's great is the photography teacher, I didn't take photography class, but she loves my work. And I think that's really nice. Okay. Vivian Meyer. There's a documentary called Finding Vivian Meyer that I saw a few years ago. Whenever it came out, when the trailer came out, I was so excited about it. She was a nanny. No one knew that she liked photography. She had a camera with her all the time. She would take photos, but no one knew she was this amazing at photography. They found, after she died, 700 rolls of undeveloped film and over 100,000 negatives. And they were auctioned off. So someone went into her attic, found all this stuff, and decided to just sell it at an auction, and a guy bought it for like $100-something. And now so many people know about her, and her art is amazing. I love it. I mean, this guy's just riding a horse in New York City, by the way. That's where she lived. I think. I'm pretty sure. It was near some city. And I think it was New York City. I'd have to re-watch it, but I'm pretty sure because there's the beach even. She took this photograph. So she would go up to people. She would see how close she could get to them and just take photos. A lot of them didn't even know she was doing it. Yeah, I think it was Kira. I want to say I'm 100% right on that, but I don't want to be off if I am. So anyway, Vivian Meyer. I love this. This guy is just asleep on the beach, fully clothed, and she's just like, I'm going to take this photo. And it was a very old camera that she used as well. Kira, how's your day going? I love circus photography. I don't know who took this photo, but on a regular basis, I go to like Pinterest or I look on the internet at circus photography. I'm fascinated by circus life. I've said before, he's a Kiwi because he's... Oh, man. The beach guy, not the clown guy. Oh, you relate to that guy. Yeah. Oh, your grandparents just went home? My day is going great. I'm looking forward to eating my Impossible Burgers after this stream. I'm going to make some. You passed out on a beach a couple times? So anyway, I have mentioned, I think maybe once, that if I lived in like the late 1800s, I would probably join the circus. I know that's really weird, but I'm fascinated by circus life. Kira said she took more than 150,000 photographs. So like I said, Vivian Meyer had 700 rolls of undeveloped film. So you figure how many, there are like 24 pictures in a roll. Something like that. 16 to 24 depending on the roll of film or the camera. And 100,000 negatives. So 150,000 photographs during her lifetime, primarily of the people and architecture of Chicago, New York City, and Los Angeles, although she always traveled and photographed worldwide. Yes. I really recommend, I would be a great circus woman. Thank you. I would probably care for the animals because I don't like how the animals were treated in the circus, guys. I would probably do that. I'd clean up the horses. I don't know if I would be a circus act, but I would want to clean up the horses and be someone that helps out and gets to know the people. Yeah. So Finding Vivian Meyer, in case you want to watch the documentary, it is on Netflix. This is so you could spell her name. You should watch it. It's amazing. I love this photograph. This is one of my favorite photographs ever. Since the question, like I said, I love black and white photography, as you can see. I do love color photography. I like nature photos, but I'm not going to be showing many nature photos. I really love, I have on my Pinterest like a beautiful photo section and beautiful old photo section. Ooh, spin and hang from the ceiling. I don't know if I would like that. I don't really like heights. So this is from 1958 of a little girl in Tokyo playing with a phone. I love the joy on her face. This is what I love about photography. When you just capture a moment. I do like to take photos that are set up, but at the same time, when you find something like this and someone just takes a photo of someone having a nice time or feeling sad or whatever it is, and you capture it, it's awesome. And you guys, you know my desktop, right? You guys have seen it. Let me show you. I've had this photo on my desktop for years, like 7 or 8 years. I cannot change it. I just love it so much. This is a photograph of a pull-up and a My Little Pony. I like photos of dolls. I know that's weird. So, this is a pull-up. It's spelled P-U-L-L-I-P. They are Korean dolls. They're like ball-jointed dolls, but they're smaller than like the huge ball-jointed dolls that you could get. So this one, obviously it's set up. So I said that I like ones where someone just captures a moment. This is set up with things that are not real. So still life, you know. Granted, this isn't fruit or anything like that. And I like bicycles, so I love drawings. Anything with bicycles, I'm like, oh, I love it. Yes, this is Justice and Pepper. That's right. That's me with the really long hair and Pepper. Oh my gosh. It's us. With Pepper with her cute tights. Aw, I like it. Okay. I've had blonde hair before. You should not be driving though. So one of my best friends, she lives in Maine. We actually started to talk because of our love of photography. And I would love to show you her work. She is really good at photography. But she doesn't like to share it with people. She's very private about it. However, I could show you this one. She took this of me in Maine. I didn't even know she took this. We were just hanging out. We took photos throughout the day. So this is me looking at cows in Maine. But I love the beauty of this photograph. So all of her photos have this type of beauty. So I've taken lots of photos of her and her family and the life that she lives. She lives near farmland. I don't. We live in very different places. That's when I had red hair, guys. I dyed it red. But I have redheaded brothers, so it could look natural. Anyway, so that is by one of my best friends. So I said I like nature photos. I love photos of animals as well. This is an adorable and beautiful photo. I love snow photography. And you will see later, I'm going to show you a couple snow photos that I took. Hey, zombie. How you doing? Kitty. It's so cute, right? But you see like the light coming up from the mountains and it's really beautiful. And the snow that, like, from it jumping on the snow and you see it lifted in the air, that is cool. It's neat. I'm doing great. And again, I like old photos, like I said. This one I think was set up. No way would someone have this sign, strictly no elephants. Okay. But look at this. I love when you see photos like this that have a little humor to them. This child has a toy elephant and is sad that they can't go inside with their elephant. So yeah, those type of photos, they're awesome. Now I'm going to show you guys my photography, some of my favorite photos. I have lots of favorite photos. It was very difficult. I didn't want to give you too many. So I'm just going to show you a few. This is one of my best friends. I took this with film. This is a film photo. The place where I used to develop my film closed down, and I cannot get photos. I don't have my camera, my film camera is gone. I miss it. I loved film photography the most. So I took this of her in 2005, 2004 with an actual, it was a Vivtar 35 millimeter film camera. So I love this. Vivtar. It's okay. I like to photograph people a lot and nature. So this I took of my son when he was a little guy. So this is one of my sons. Again, black and white photography I love. I wanted to make it look a little old school with his outfit and everything. You want to fish there? You don't want to fish there. You cannot safely fish in that area because it's polluted, and the fish you have to throw back after you catch them. So yeah, this is of my little guy. I took this. There is a series, so there are other photos I took of him that I really love too that are in color of this. Have I seen the documentary on the second of the two only photo albums from the concentration camps during World War II? I believe I did. I've seen so many documentaries, and that sounds very, very familiar to me. I'm pretty certain I did because I remember a few years ago talking about it to Rob Study. So yes, I'm pretty certain I did. Still gonna catch a radioactive, polluted, mutated, three-headed trout. Awesome. So again, now this was with my phone. So I'm just showing you different cameras. The last one was taken digital. This was with a phone. The lighting could have been a little bit better. But this is my oldest son when he was little. He used to take ballet. Both of my sons took ballet for a few years. They were really good at it. We had to stop due to a situation. But he had private lessons once in a while. So here he's doing just a couple exercises and I took photos. So I love ballet photography. And I love ballet. Yes. Kirip, yes. I did. Yes, I did. All right, so that's my other little guy. Oh, you did, Pepper? Me too. I wanted to be a ballet dancer, but my parents couldn't afford to keep me in. My in-laws used to support they would pay for our sons to go to ballet because they really liked that idea. So they actually paid for them to go to ballet, which was so nice. I love taking photos of pregnant people. I took this of one of my classmates. She hired me a few times to take photos of her family. This was her second pregnancy. She's gorgeous. She's actually pregnant with her third child right now, so this is interesting. But I told her, she tried to hire me for other things, and I told her I don't do it anymore. I felt bad, but I love this shot. The colors, because you can see like the tree even in the background kind of matches her dress. Autumn was just starting, but it was such a nice day. And she's just gorgeous. She should have been a model. So because I like pregnancy photos so much, this is my one best friend that just died in April. She was pregnant with her second child as well, and I love this photo. So she just died after having her 7th child. And so this is more special now to me to see this photograph. Any photo I have of her, I adore now even more. But this one, she always loved this one. This was her favorite photo that I took of her. So I love this. Again, I take photos of other things. This one I thought was unique. This is an old sled with like a shed behind it that's like moldy and falling apart, but it worked. This one got published in a magazine back in like 2013, I think. Yeah, lots of textures. This was, I think, the front cover of the magazine. I think I still have the magazine somewhere. I should. I don't keep things, honestly. I'm not sentimental, but I keep the photo. I had a few of my works published in different things. But I love this photo. It's simple. There's nothing amazing about it, but I just think it's neat. I don't have a lot more photos to share. This is a dragonfly. Dragonflies are my favorite insect. The quality of this isn't, I don't know like why I didn't have the best quality, but I've always loved this photo. This dragonfly let me pet it. I have a thing with dragonflies and damselflies where they will land on me. I grew up around them and I will be able to hold them. They'll land on me. I can pet them. I don't know what it is. I'm like a dragonfly charmer. It's an edible insect list. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But anyway, I took this and I loved it. I used to have it in my living room, hanging up on the wall. That was a very big dragonfly too. And then a moth. This is probably my very favorite photo that I've ever taken. Right here. Right here. I have like two that I'll show you that are my very favorites. This one, I have this in my bathroom. I love this photo so much. This is a Luna moth. It's like this big. It was this big, guys. And it was on this tree. And I like angled it weird because it's looking downward at the tree. So I went on top of it while it's on the bark. So it was like, the view was like this, downward. And I saw this when I was at a birthday party at someone's house. And I was like, I need to photograph this right now. They are fluffy. This is, I think, the second or third time that I've ever seen a Luna moth. You want to be a moth? Aw. In case you guys are just getting here, I'll just put it over it real quick, just so you guys can see. I'm answering questions. This is called Message in a Bottle. This question I got today was, you've told us you love photography. Can you share some of your favorite photos, whether taken by you or someone else? Pondering Minds asked that. So I showed a whole bunch of photos that I love by other people. Now I'm showing my work, some of my favorites. And this is my very favorite. Okay. I also used to take a lot of self-portraits. I still do once in a while, but I love to set things up. And these are some of my favorites. I'm going to show you two from the same set. This is me in a vintage 60s coat that I used to wear on a regular basis. And an old record player with the Beatles record in it. I don't have this record player anymore. It broke. And it was like a CD player, tape player. They're tape cassettes you could put on the side of it. And record player. Now I've got a much better record player. But anyway, I brought this out to the woods. I took this photo with a terrible quality digital camera. It was a Fujifilm. It was not good quality, but I love the photos that I took with it anyway. So there's this one. You have a huge moth all over the city right now? What kind? What kind of? Thank you. These boots were really comfy. I loved these boots. But I stopped wearing them after a time, and so I donated them. But I wore them for like a whole decade. They were my winter boots. And then here's another shot. I love this one probably more than the other one. It's like I'm gonna play music out in the woods. So these woods, specifically these woods here, are in my parents' backyard, and it was my favorite place to go to when I wanted to be alone and to find solace. And also listening to the Beatles on my record player, or just in general, always gave me great comfort as a child. So I put the two together for this photo session. This was back in, by the way, this is my like sort of mullet hair that I told Pepperwinkle about, actually, where I had like the front of my hair was cut to my chin. It's like a princess, Japanese princess style kind of thing. And then it was just all the hair was in the back. Yeah, so that was that, just so you know. So you could see like the hair in the front is short. So yeah. I told her about it, now she gets to see. Oh yeah. So I have two different colors in this hair. It's like blondish and orangish. Yeah, you could see it a little bit. Next. Guys, I had shorter hair once. Never again. This was at this one hot dog place. This photo was published in an online magazine. It was also in Payless on their website. Also featured in two other places. This photograph, I don't know, a lot of people loved it. It's actually drives me nuts that it's not centered right. I want to fix it so badly, but I can't. But yet so many people love it. So it is a favorite. I used to be a vintage fashion blogger for about 10 years. And I took my own photos with a self-timer. I literally had a remote and I'm hiding it. So I did 50s hairstyles, 40s hairstyles, 60s hairstyles, and that's the fashion that I wore. Anyway, my last photo that is definitely my second favorite photo I've ever taken is this frog. Frogs are my favorite animal. I love the softness of this photo. It's like not like a lot of my photography. It's so soft, the lighting, and it's so beautiful to me. And the fact that the frog didn't jump, I got really close to this frog and he just stayed there for me. I did not zoom in. I literally got up to him I got a few shots of it too. This isn't the only shot of him. I have different angles, but this photo I just really love. And that you could see that he's the focus with everything else kind of blurred. So that's my second favorite photo. And froggies are gorgeous, guys. If you don't like frogs, you should. You should try to get to know them. They're nice people. So thank you, Pondering Minds. I know you're not here right now that I know of, but I hope you can watch the VOD or when I edit it and I'll show you so you can see. Anyway, it is time for some Geoguessr. This is the end portion of my show that